on our 4 channels. Let's see who comes in first. I tell you, Foxhole came in quick, forming our sound check. All right, Foxhole for the win. And then I'm like, I thought for sure that'd be really hard to do in America. Like they would just watch for weird stuff. That first plane, yeah. But the second plane, Foxhole would be scrambling jets, forming our sound. There's all kinds of explanations. That's an old one. Foxhole for the win. D Live is up and running. Chat. We've got one lurker in Facebook. Countdown, about 4 minutes to go. Just getting going here. Let's check YouTube. YouTube has sound. And now we just need Facebook is always odd. D-Live is alright. Facebook is golden. Hey Mike. Oh, why did it do that? D-Live is how's my cousin doing? From up in New York. I probably shouldn't dox people like that. Hit reply. It won't let me. I'll do it here. Are you ready to hear some crazy stuff? That's what we do here. Anderson would be on. I mean, Angular, that's his stage name, but he's hanging out with a friend. We let him off. Time off for good behavior. Why is it paused? Why do you do this to me? How much time do I have? I have 2 minutes to troubleshoot this. What did I do to this poor thing? Oh. When I go in the chat, why can't it let me just reply? Alright, that'll work. I think I have to leave that window though. Alright, well, you know, technology. You know how it goes. You know how it be like. Alright. Decent Raw. How's it going today? Pretty good. Did a little side project that was unscheduled and shouldn't have even spent the time on at the old work factory, but I did it anyway. The camera's in a weird place for having no co-host. You see the empty chair here.
Shut up and sit down.
And the empty microphone. But we're going to leave it like that. Angular is out playing with a friend. We have a minute and a half, and then we'll get rolling. Whiskey Blue. Howdy. Tesla Dove. So what we're talking about today, this is Friday, so it'll just be a news roundup. It's normally designed to be here with co-host Angular. He likes commenting on the news. This coming Sunday, we're covering Mary Poppins. Haven't found anything that amazing yet, but I'm about halfway through the movie. Next Wednesday is going to be the last Facebook roundup, and then we're going to switch to the Bible study in a week and a half. 53 seconds to go. Bible study begins, I think, on the 27th of April, on Wednesday night. Lurkers are rolling in. Love it. Oh, I can type on Facebook here. Oh, I know what I've been doing wrong, and I know how I fixed it. Let's see. Oh, read only. Okay, I can read Facebook. But why didn't it show me? Anyway, we got 17 seconds to go.
Shut up and sit down.
If I can pull this off, you know how it goes, right? 2, 1.
1 part bread, 1 part pill. This is the Bread Pill Weekly. You've been red pilled, now be the red pill.
supposed to go to this view. Yeah, that's the close-up view. Welcome to, let's see if I can remember what show this even is, the Bread Pill Weekly. You've been red pilled, now be the red pill. You're out of the oven and out for delivery. Normally we're joined by our co-host Angular. He's out gallivanting. They had the day off of school, so play got started, hanging out, like breaking things, whatever they do, whatever middle schoolers do, right? I'm sure they're breaking things. I'm G. Ross, your co-host that doesn't have a co-host. You're the underscore. That's our channel also. We're broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, DLive, and the Foxhole like we typically do on Fridays and late Sundays. There's also, I said that totally wrong. Fridays and late Wednesdays. Sunday nights is usually reserved for the Foxhole. So let's get started on today's little news roundup. Episode 14, today's April 15th. I always like to start with a reading from the Holy Bible. Quick note from Decem Raw. It's strange watching those old movies, knowing what I know now. So many hidden things. Agreed. I'll go ahead and give a spoiler. The biggest thing I think that I have noticed so far, and I think someone else commented on this first, but there's a boat house land thing. Meaning, next door neighbor, like, acts like an admiral, and the roof of his house is a boat. So that's that maritime on top of land trick that they like to do. Tesla Dove says they're most likely pitching over dustbins. That's a good phrase for what they're doing. Yes. Yeah. Right, exactly. You rapscallions, get out of my yard. All right, we're going to check out... Oh, by the way, links are going to be in the description if you're on either Facebook or YouTube. If you're on DLive or the Foxhole, we'll drop a few links here and there. But let's get into... I'm going to read from Revelation 9, verse 16. I don't think I've read this one recently. Verse 16. The number of the mounted troops was twice 10,000 times 10,000. I heard their number. So what is this? This is 200 million mounted horses arrayed in the first big battle. There's another one that comes up a little later in Harmageddon or Armageddon. And that number is probably smaller of people. I think that's the one where it's described as gathered from the east. This too may also be gathered from the east. Where are you going to get 200 million dudes on horses? And what year is this going to happen? Is this the distant future? Has it already happened? Is it happening now? What is it, 200 million? Oh, new glasses, by the way. Brand new glasses. Got them today. I had the other pair. That's for walking about. Anyway. Not a lot to say, really, maybe. What is this? I don't even remember why I put this in there. Let's check it out. Oh, I read you that, but I didn't show you that because I forgot to hit this, which I almost always forget, and producer has to run in. Unfortunately, producer's not here, and I remembered, even though producer's not here. Fortunately, I remembered. By Facebook lurker who disappeared. We had one. I think I know who it was. All right, so our news story. So there was Revelation 9:16. You can actually see it now. Sorry, I forgot to put that in. What was my point of this BitChute link thing? Oh, this is just a great... Marine 1063. Check out this guy's videos. Let me put the link in Foxhole. Let me do that right quick. Why did I just... Why? Why did that happen? All right. These are some footages from over in the Ukraine kind of thing that's going on. And it's fascinating. It doesn't really necessarily fit within the narrative that we might be getting on our rectangles in our living rooms. Doesn't this guy kind of look like the guy from the TV show The Americans? A little bit, just a little bit. So I'm not going to play too much. I haven't even looked at these lately. Some good videos there. All right. that was the point of that. Let's go to Kramatorsk. All right, Kramatorsk. Going back to April 8th. April 8th was, I want to say, Friday? Yeah. So, here's why I put this in here mostly. Our Dr. D on Thursday on Table Titans said, Kramatorsk, you're going to see it in the news next week. Kramatorsk. Next day, Kramatorsk. And I forgot to mention, I was going to mention it on Friday. April 11th. Sorry. April 11th is when, maybe that was updated. So anyway, some action in Kramatorsk. Interesting. You can kind of see the map there. Assessed Russia control. Man, this thing is still going. I really didn't think it would last this long when it first started. Shows you what I know. Shows you my lack of analysis and capabilities. If anything I've learned is to stop predicting the future, right? You'll see in the article that dozens were killed in a train station missile strike in eastern Ukraine, is what they're reporting. Now we have a new department called To Be Shanghaied. Why do you call it that, G. Ross? Well, let's find out. China leading citizens to jump from balconies in quest to achieve COVID-0. Now that's a bit of a clickbaity headline. I thought it meant they were suggesting to them, and maybe they are, but I don't think that's in the article. It's like all this stuff is leading to that level of extremity is kind of what, if you read through the article. This was from New York Post, and this was on the 9th. I don't know. How do we know how good these news stories are on all sides, right? Just wanted to report that. All right. Man, if I'd have known Angular wasn't going to be here, there was going to be some other news. There's been some pretty creepy trafficking stuff in the news lately. To Shanghai someone, this is an old word. To kidnap or trick them into working for you, the traditional way is you drug someone, put them on a ship. When they wake up, they better get to work. And usually it was to a place. Shanghai, China was like a poster child for that. Isn't it kind of weird that they picked on Shanghai? Well, how dare they, those racists? Why would they pick on Shanghai? Shanghai can't possibly be worse than other places, can it? It's in complete lockdown right now. You couldn't even get in if you wanted to. You could not be put on a boat to Shanghai, right? Let's go to April 14th. From WFLA.com. That's a Florida station. This is kind of that turf war going on where it's like, okay, you can send your people from Texas to DC, your migrants. Are those migrants? Are they documented migrants? But don't you dare come to Florida. We don't want your money. I wonder how much money they have. We don't want your COVID. I wonder if COVID is real and they have some. I know COVID can be real. We don't want your kind here. What is DeSantis saying? He also signs a 15-week abortion ban into law. Boom. I think we covered that in a minute. All right, let's check our Lurk City. Lurkity. Got some lurkers coming in. Well, we had one come in, one go out. Pretty steady. You know, what even is a lurker? Like, what even does that mean? Have you lurked? I've lurked from time to time. Do you have to kind of like hide behind a bush to lurk? Like you do. WHIOV. So, why on earth would I put a completely non-English thing? You can actually select some of this text. Let me put this chat in the Foxhole description. You can select some of this text. And I'm probably getting viruses now on my computer because it's a Chinese website. But you can pop it into translate.google.com or Babelfish or whatever. So it says here, Wuhan Institute of Virology has always attached great importance to biosafety. And if you dig through and read up on it, essentially, China has selected Wuhan Institute of Virology's lab safety training course for all their labs. So, you know, that convinces me that Wuhan was definitely not like a lab leak place. Like, why would China pick their safety training course for all their countrywide labs? You know, if they had ever let a bioweapon leak, I mean a bat soup virus out of their lab. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to switch departments now. By the way, did I mention call-ins are always welcome?
Shut up and sit down.
I won't hear you go into the call-in room, though. It'll not beep for me. It just won't do it. So you'll have to say, hey, you know, if that's of interest. All right. You know, it's funny. You always discover your mood when you do these things. Last week, I was in a crazy mood. This week, I'm kind of subdued. Let's go to Durham, the Department of Durham, April 8th. Phew. Washington Examiner says Democratic lawyer Sussman fights Durham's use of FBI expert testimony on Alpha Bank data accuracy. So this is more of this battle going on with Sussman. That's kind of a name to follow. It keeps growing and going and going, like the Duracell battery, the Duracell rabbit, or the Energizer rabbit, whatever it was. In short, this is a play in the direction of whether Hillary's campaign for Hillary for America was part of the conspiracy to traffic false information to the FBI or other governmental entities. That's why I'm watching this. That's why we're all watching this. Where's this going? It's 2 years later. What? No, 5 years later. Let's go to a new department called gardening. Going back to April, or forward from then to April 11th. Gardner admits wrongdoing in ethics investigation. Which Gardner? Because there's a few Gardners. This is St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner admitted to wrongdoing during a disciplinary hearing Monday, stating that their process came up short while handling the criminal case against former Governor Eric Greitens. That's really why I linked this article. I do not know what's going on with Greitens, but don't you sense some like knife stabbing off screen back and forth for the last few weeks there? I certainly do. I don't know. I'm saying watch this space. I think he's... I don't know. Let's go to Unretweeter. This guy. He plays with Doge, now he plays with Tweeter. Elon Musk deletes tweets critical of Twitter after a weekend barrage. Man, so much has happened on this week. Yesterday, I was hearing that the $38 billion offer, like there was some pumping and some dumping and some stock moving, and so he's not the majority shareholder, somebody else is. So this just kept changing, and I didn't get a new news story for you. What's happening today? I have no idea. Elon may or may not be rejuvenating Twitter by buying it, not buying it. Who knows? Doge Twitter. Let's go to the land of the Finns. Where do the Finns hang out? Who has Finns? Who are Finns? Finland is joining NATO? What? Russian lawmaker says that would mean the destruction of your country. You ever notice how close? Let's take a peek. I think Finland is really close to Russia. Finland map. Show up. Let's go here. Let's take a look at Finland. Look at that sideways cross. How do you hang sideways on a cross? Like you just kind of would go. That's dark humor. It's not even humor, it's just dark. Shadowy. So, I mean, like, there's Moskva. Where is this? Belarus right there. There's Ukraine. So, man, yeah, they just keep trying to, like, NATO basically should just be renamed, like, North all over, technically, there's no R in there, NATO over Russia. Like, that's essentially what it's becoming, right? Well, anyway, I don't think Finland's going to join NATO, but maybe, you never know. I don't think Ukraine is either, but maybe you never know. It could have joined the EU or the European whatever it was called. maybe it's in the EU, but there was something else it could have joined, like a European something or other. NATO just seemed to be a little bit too much. Let's check in on our boys going to April 11th. I couldn't really find a lefty or central, by common parlance, news site for this one. I think it was exclusive, or at the time I couldn't find it anywhere else. Some U.S. Marines are speaking out about Biden's vaccine mandate being forced on our good soldiers. And I did not watch the video, I have to confess. But there's an excerpt here, and I did watch part of it. So there's a person saying, I have researched and informed my command of the lack of any fully FDA-approved COVID-19 vaccine. This mandate infringes on our religious freedoms and is being unlawfully enforced. I've sworn an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will not abandon that oath. I'm maybe most fascinated right now with that first point. A fully approved COVID vaccine. Interesting, eh? Now, from the Department of Seuss, going to April 14th. Why did I call this Seuss? I can't remember. Seuss? Is there a doctor? Oh, that's right. Okay, someone hat-tipped me that Dinesh D'Souza, and I have not seen any of his movies. I've heard him talk. I kind of get a little like ho-hum yawn with Dinesh D'Souza. Like I never learn anything from watching his stuff. I've always heard everything he says, but that doesn't mean it's not hard work he's doing. It's just usually I'm like reading 4chan, 8chan, Paul, 8kun, Foxhole, all the various speakeasies, and I'm getting all my information like months before you normies. I'm kidding. There's not an audience of you normies watching this, but you normies, you know you're out there. You know who you are. Let me catch up with chat. I'm so behind. Sweden is doing the same, most likely. Really? Tesla Dove, is Finland really joining? Are they just wow? Let's think about this. Will World War III happen? Will there be two sides? Were there two sides to World War I and II? I think you can kind of say that history is written in that way. And I don't think it had to be bent too much, but who knows? There seems to be a lot of evidence that there was Axis and Allies, the world power. What was it called in World War I? Can the world be split in half again and two halves fight? I don't know, man. Like, that'd just be crazy. If you keep building up this NATO thing, fascinating. We're heading to the precipice. How long can one head to the precipice? And what do you mean, G. Ross, head to the precipice? 98% of anyone listening to this already knows what I mean. If you don't know what I mean and you heard that just now, ask me or someone. Hey, you're one of those QAnon freaks. You're probably a flat earther also. What's heading to the precipice? What's that? I mean, I'm not going to define it here. Well, I could. Nobody knows, actually. It's this phrase that we Anons, I'm not an Anon. I suck at Anoning. I really do. Tesla Dove is pointing out you have a friend in Sweden that was worrying about Sweden joining NATO last time she emailed. Yeah, I mean, Deesum Ross says Elon is just, I'm going to say effing with, because this is usually co-hosted by a middle schooler, Mr. Zookbitch. Don't think they will let him have much more. Yeah. Hey, that Elon, he's a fascinating. World War III has already started. They just haven't started dropping the bombs yet. Now, December, I agree with that. Like, World War III started. Man, you can trace it back. Let me ask you this. I'm trying to figure out when World War III started. And I'll ask this. I'm quickly scanning the last 50 years. Was Reagan a shill? Was Reagan compromised? The whole time through? Halfway through when they shot at him? Or not? That's a fine actor right there. Was he more than an actor? Was he only an actor? When did World War III start? You could argue it started at the drop of the bioweapon. Maybe. You could argue that Trump started it with the sanctions. 2001, boom, December. Nice touch. No argument there. That's when the freedoms just got taken away with... You know what's funny is they want you to think, 19 box cutters took away our freedom. No, there weren't even box cutters. Like, that's the trip to wrap your mind around. I mean, I know 85% of everyone listening to this already knows there weren't no box cutters. But, like, you keep thinking there were. Because you're like, how amazing that they... And even when you start to realize none of that stuff is what was shown on the square, on the living room square. You know, I saw one tower standing with my eyeballs. Yeah. Tesla Dove says, I am a wartime president. You know, I think I talked about that last Wednesday. He was using the Wartime Manufacturing Act, or whatever it's called, to make the ventilators. Nobody stopped him. So everyone's saying we're at war, right? Interesting. Well, we know that we're a corporation, and it's been dismantled, and now Nassar is on its way. And, you know, are you ready to work hard? Are you ready to just homestead? I don't want to homestead, I've got to be honest. I hope there's something for more of a city boy like myself in this great new world we're moving to. I'm kind of a city boy. I really am. All right, let me get to some... hey, who was that kicked that off? That was a nice little fun discussion. That was kind of like... What was everybody but Decent Raw says World War III already started. That was fun. No, it wasn't fun, but you know what I'm saying. So Dinesh D'Souza has a movie coming out, packaging it all up. If you don't know that your election was stolen from you, okay, let's say your person is in office. The election was still stolen from you. Because it absolutely has zero integrity. Let's say... I'll just leave it at that. I mean, it's like... That was not an election. That was a... We can barter. Tesla Dove, yes. I was hanging out in Scotland once. And my friend said, do you see all that? That's my land, but that's not my sheep. That guy wants to raise his sheep on my grass, and so we trade, you know. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll have to find something useful to do. I can, like, I really don't know. We'll find out. But you know what I do? Do-do. He said do-do. When you're in the grocery store, grab an extra can of something. I'm not saying... Well, prep aggressively if you want, actually. I shouldn't say don't. Let's now move to the vote department, where we vote about voting. Going to April 14th. Tesla Duff says, goods, services, land use, transport, housing, vacation housing. Excellent points, Tesla Duff. I co-own with the bank, about half and half, a little tiny parcel of land in a North Dallas suburb. Maybe that can amount to something. I do have the tiniest little clinky precious metals. Those things are gonna pop. But I mean, that'll buy me a couple meals and then they'll be gone. I'm not gonna say how much I have. It's not very much. I have some bullets. That's currency. I don't have a lot, but I have a few. So Pennsylvania State Senate, and let me put the link in the description or in the chat. The Pennsylvania State Senate, let's see, I took some notes here, passes a bill banning ballot drop boxes and funding a la Zuckerbucks, if you know that phrase. Stuff from like Mark Zucker. Or Zucker, yeah. I don't know if this is passed. I think this has to go to the House or something like that. So I'm not saying it's a done deal, but I'm just saying keep an eye on that space. Same in the vote department. Let's go to the 15th, I want to say. No, the 13th, going back a day. If this map is enacted, Florida will be sued, says Mark Elias. But apparently, if I caught this right, Florida was getting aggressively hammered on with some gerrymandering from the blue. And then Ron DeSantis somehow came in and magically made it all red. And I think it was just because he proposed a map. So that's about as yawn and non-news as I can imagine. Except for I feel like I have to pay attention. Oh, let me get really sucked into your red versus blue gerrymandering. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have to fight a lot for our politics, right? Culture is downstream from religion. Politics is downstream from culture. I forget the order. And art is upstream even from maybe religion. I forget the order. Bannon likes to talk about it. Anyway. Precinct committeeman? Precinct captain? Precinct committeeman? That's probably a good bet. Let's see what we got in the chat. We have been storing up. Decent Ross says, storing up on canned goods when creepy Uncle Joe got into office. You know, my first real serious prepping was like 10 years ago, and I'm still eating that food because it's disgusting and it's about to expire. I mean, it's not really going to expire. If you can last 10 years, you can last 50 years, right? It's like an old camping MRE type thing. Anyway, so I started prepping way back. You know, I usually keep, I don't want to say several months worth, let's just say. Tesla Dove says you could let someone farm on your land and deliver a portion to you. Yes. I mean a small portion of land. Prepping as much as I can ever since lockdown. Yeah, lockdown I doubled up. I'm like, we're buying more. I mean, I had prepped and then sat still, and then the lockdown happened, and I was like, I'm so glad I prepped. I got food. No one else can get food, but I have it. Decent Ross says, I know I would. Perfect trade-off. And then Tesla Dove says, it really is. A couple of chicken coops too. I have seen people raise chickens. That does look interesting. I think I could do that. All right, you're turning me around here. You really are. Oh, by the way, Tesla Dove. I don't know how this popped into my mind just now. I'm trying to put the word out. A week from today at about 7 p.m. Not exactly 7 p.m. And I got to get some questions ready for this. I'm having a cryptid friend on. It'll be the second time I've ever done an interview on this channel covering cryptids. You know, we did our Cryptid World, and we covered many topics. A lot of it was cryptids. Or Bigfoot. Maybe it was more like what we were talking about. But I asked him how Bigfoot was related to Dogman, and he said it's the same. That guy can shapeshift. So I've got another somebody I know who I've known for a long time in person, and we've been researching. Mostly Dogman, and so I've invited to come on and do some Dogman interview questions, and also talk about cryptocurrency. So cryptids and cryptos. Maybe that's what I'll call the show if he hasn't already used that, and I'll promote his YouTube channel and all that other stuff. But that's coming up in about a week and 2 hours. So it'll be soon after this show next week. All right. So, vertical gardening, Tesla Dove. Excellent point. That is a superb point. I kind of knew that. You know, I go to Disney World way too much, and I look at Living on the Land, which is a ride. They have some vertical gardening in there that they show. That's also where allegedly one of the kidnapping pathways is. There's like a little farmhouse to the left as you go past, I think, the desert. It's on the left, and there's a creepy farmhouse, and it's like supposed to be like a trafficking thing or something. I'm not saying. How dare you, G. Ross? They're coming after me now. In the vote to vote department, there's another story for April 13. Where'd it go? Republican National Committee votes to pull out of the Commission on Presidential Debates. You do you. Good for you. I mean, you know, it's like, do you ever listen to like 412? He's got such this good balance of like calling it like it is, you know, kind of get into Trump when he does something good and kind of just be like, why are you endorsing Dr. Oz, you know? And I kind of feel like I'm not trying to channel 412 or say what he would think, but like I'm getting this vibe of like, you know, RNC votes to pull out of a commission on presidential debates. And I'm like, like, who cares? Who cares if the RNC is or isn't in the commission on presidential debates? I used to care deeply for decades. At this moment in time, 5:59 Central PM, Friday, April 15th, I can't find a care. Maybe I should. Tesla Dove says, oh, cool. Okay. We'll really try to make it to a cryptid show. Nice. I think it's true. Tunnels. What's true? The shape shifting? No, what was I talking about? This delay isn't that long. What did I say? What did I just say? Anyway, yeah. So can't care about this, but I think it should be reported. We should watch trash. Now I'm going from the vote to vote department. Oh no, that was from the debate. Yeah, that was from the debate. Now we'll go back to tweet. Oh, I forgot I already had this department, so I did this out of order. We're getting close to the end of the show. This is a pretty short show. Work just gets more insane. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. Oh, 412. Yeah, you think 412 might vibe in that direction? Yeah. I mean, I don't want to represent what he would say. You know, he's hugely responsible, 80% for the underscore in my name. Him and Belushi. And the Mats helping me out. Any word from Methods? Pray for him. I hope he's doing well. So here is Elon Musk's filing with the SEC. This is already old, but I like this. I'm not playing the back and forth game. I moved straight to the end. It's a high price, and your shareholders will love it. If the deal doesn't work, give it a blah, blah, blah. It's not a threat. I'm simply a good investment without the changes that need to be made. Those changes won't happen without taking the company private. Come on. Like, I love this. Are you able to chat? Isn't that funny? I love it. I mean, that's Whiskey Blue says Adol and Dilly and Frank love that. That's usually on Thursdays, right? That's fantastic. Oh, Tesla Dove, the Disney World tunnels. Yes. Yeah. I go there way too much. I'm going next month. How dumb. But I'm going next month. I'm taking my dog. How do you take your dog to Disney World? We're going to hang out in Fort Wilderness a lot and hang out with our dogs. I have one dog. The people I'm traveling with have a dog. I have 3 dogs. Yeah, Tesla Dove, you like his show. Yeah. No, I wasn't saying you were trying to say what he would think. I was going back to what I was saying. Yeah, no, sorry. I babble incoherently. All right, so did I put that link? Yeah, I did. That's the SEC filing for... I've got one more news story from the Taiwan department coming back to April 14th. Did you catch this? You probably did because you're a well-read audience. Bipartisan, meaning one Democrat, Bob Menendez. That guy is interesting. Bob Menendez, man. He sometimes crosses the aisle, right? Like, that's crazy. Anyway, they went and kind of apparently tweaked China a little bit by hanging out with Taiwan. Just wanted to point that out. And I'm all stone cold out of news stories for the week. It's getting more and more and more and more busy at work. And that's 2 weeks in a row that my co-host has not been here. I have to look into that. Because he usually adds like a good set of commentary, 50% more like awesomeness. I like on top, like he's more awesome and adds to the show so much. Even with he does no prep. I'm not trying to out him, but like he just shows up and adds like 50%. So yeah, pretty soon after this, let me tell you where I'm going to go hang out. When we're done here, I'm probably going to go catch some more season pixels. And then later tonight, don't forget, usually Reasonable TV comes to the friggin' Friday night show. I may actually go to a bar. Oh, I don't know if anything's up with Methods. Just I don't think anyone's seen him in a while. I could be wrong. Here, let's go check. Let's take a peek. No, I don't think there's anything known wrong. Just he sometimes has things to do that are super quiet. I just pray for him. I meant like that he's doing well. I'm sorry, I'm starting rumors today. I'm just being horrible. Let's go. Let's see if we can find. Maybe he's recently returned and I'm just that out of the loop. Build is the place to write your own dynamic. No, he posted something yesterday. Prayers for Methods. Our brother's been gone for a couple days. He had some chest pains. He's home now. He's going to be resting for a bit. Don't know the extent. Okay, so something did happen. So that's our brother Methods. So I guess I was kind of vaguely aware. All right. Well, sorry to keep it so short. Let me do around the horn. Yes, Seasoned Pickles is coming up. I'll head over there. I've got to break down the green screen because this is a temporary studio that I set up and tear down 3 times a week. I kind of like it in a sense, but it does take like 20 minutes to set up, 15 minutes to take down. It fits in a little, everything in my hand, you know. I can just carry it. It's very portable. Decimra says, your son does add to the show. Thank you, thank you. He says, you say I do pretty well by myself. I think last week I had a little bit more of a strange mood. We did National Lampoon's Dune on Sunday. That was fun. That was kind of fun. But yeah. So I'll fire off the outro. And I know I pick a rough time slot. 5:30 Central. Everybody starts showing up at 6 and I'm like, I'm out. You know. But anyway, it's Good Friday. You know, the church I want to super out myself because then it puts a lot of pressure on the church, but I'm an elder there. And we've been moving a little bit away from being as scheduley and liturgical. So this particular year, we're not particularly observing like Friday, Monday, Thursday. You know, we'll have a service on Sunday like we do every Sunday. What's my point? I don't know, just sharing a little vibe of Easter. Let's pray for the people in Russia and in Ukraine. Let me do that real quick. I'm going to mute the music. I don't know why I want to do that, but I just suddenly want to do that. Father in heaven, thank you that through the shed blood of your Son, your children can approach you boldly. Father, I just want to ask that all the people that are stuck in crazy happenings everywhere in the world, but especially in Ukraine and Russia, that whatever's going on over there, that they would just have the peace of knowing you, that your name would be made great, and also that hostilities, this is a big ask, Lord, just hostilities, any that are going on, just cease. Lord, I would also ask that if any of the hostilities are exaggerated, like a rumor of war, that too be reduced. Lord, I just want to ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks for joining me for that. I don't know, it just kind of struck me as a thing to do. All right, I'm going to turn back on. Well, I'm going to go straight to the outro. I'll see you all Sunday night, but also in the various chats. It's been real, and it's been fun, and it has been real fun. That's just so stupid. All right, bye-bye. Where's my outro? Here it is. Thank you for spending time with us. We're joined on Fridays by co-host Angular. This has been G. Ross, and you are the underscore. Be sure to catch us on the foxhole.app, DLive, YouTube, or Facebook. Current shows include The Bread Pill Weekly. You've been red pilled, now be the red pill. You're out of the oven and ready for delivery on our weekly alternative news roundup and call-in show on Foxhole, DLive, YouTube, and Facebook every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Central, co-hosted by G. Ross and Angular. Current shows include Epistemology for Fun and Profit, where woo meets goo. You're in the woo, and the woo is in you. A philosophical call-in show with occasional guest interviews, diving into the oldest questions. Most episodes are exclusively on the foxhole.app, Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Central. Current shows include 90 Nation, the nation with no denomination, declare to the custom agents any edible plants or miscellaneous worldviews. We take a look back at how we got here, eventually leading into a regular Wednesday night Bible study at 11 p.m. Central. Catch us on the foxhole.app, DLive, YouTube, and Facebook. Our Friday co-host is Angular. This has been G. Ross, and you are the underscore.